Thank you, sir. Enjoy your drink. My special customer, served with a special drink. One with my own secret spice. His name is Carter. Just an ordinary office worker from the building across the street, right opposite the cafe where I work part-time. I love Carter. He's also the only reason I've stuck with this boring, low-paying job for a whole year.
See you this afternoon, Ashley. Your coffee is so good, I might as well replace water with it.
I want to see him, make his coffee every day. And one day, he'll be mine. And that day is coming soon. I've been secretly adding pure caffeine powder to Carter's coffee for the past 3 months. He's so addicted to my coffee now that he comes back 3 times a day. Working at the cafe is pretty easy. During office hours, barely anyone leaves their desk for coffee. But that's only true for those who aren't addicted. Carter, on the other hand, my Carter, has been hooked on my coffee for months. I can predict the exact second he'll walk through that door. I head back behind the counter, preparing a special cup for my special customer. A black coffee, extra strong, overloaded with caffeine. And today's secret ingredient, my sweat. I believe that by passively absorbing my essence, Carter will unconsciously feel closer to me. With the perfect mix of science and mysticism, Carter will be mine soon. Today, I want Carter to receive my essence at the highest level, my menstrual blood.
Ashley, the coffee tastes a bit weird today. Kinda metallic.
Carter, you've already drunk my blood. From now on, you belong to me, okay? I love you so much, ever since the first time we met at this cafe.
You're insane! I could never love a lunatic like you.
Haha. Finally, I confessed my feelings to him. His reaction? Exactly as expected. But I'm not worried. Carter is addicted to my coffee. He'll come back soon. He has no choice. As I was cleaning up the cafe, waiting for Carter to come back, a rude customer suddenly barged in.
Who the hell is Ashley? Get out here!
I looked up, shocked to see Carter standing next to the loudmouth. But the way they stood together seemed too close.
Babe, is this the freak you were talking about?
I froze. Carter has a boyfriend? No way. Carter pressed a quick kiss on Chris's cheek, then shot me a look full of disgust.
Chris is my boyfriend. You should give up on your sick obsession.
I snapped. I screamed, slamming my fist on the table, my eyes darting around for something, anything, a weapon. My fingers wrapped around a steaming hot cup of coffee from the machine, and then I threw it straight at their faces. They betrayed me. Now they'll have to live with their scarred, ugly faces, forever marked, forever judged. The scalding coffee splashed onto that home-wrecking bastard's skin. His agonizing screams filled the cafe, sending a rush of satisfaction through me like never before.
You crazy bitch! I'll kill you!
Chris, calm down. You're burned. I need to get you to a hospital. We'll deal with her later.
Their threats snapped me back to reality. They would come for me. I had to get out. Fast. I got fired. Of course it was that bastard Carter. He must have ratted me out to the cops and my boss. If he dared to betray me, if he wouldn't let me live in peace, then I'd drag him straight to hell with me. That night, I slipped into the cafe and swapped the sugar syrup with pure caffeine. Carter was addicted. He'd be back for his fix. But this time, he'd be drinking poison. Before leaving, I hid a small camera behind the counter. I wanted to see everything. I wanted to enjoy it. The next day, I sat in front of my computer, eyes glued to the live feed from the cafe. Just as I predicted, they had hired a new barista, and Carter, still convinced this place had the best coffee, came back for his usual fix. Through the camera, I noticed he looked exhausted. Taking care of that sick boyfriend must be tough, huh?
What kind of crap is this? Did you forget the sugar? Trying to choke me or what?
Oh, Carter, that coffee was never meant to be sweet. But don't worry, it's packed with caffeine. Just drink up, and it'll ease your suffering. Haha. I zoomed in on Carter's cup, watching the barista pump syrup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bumps. Should be enough. Carter downed his coffee in frustration, while I silently savored the moment. I stared at the screen, heart pounding, waiting for my masterpiece to unfold. And just as I hoped, the caffeine overdose hit. Hard. His body convulsed, foam bubbled from his mouth, like a fish gasping on dry land. I closed my laptop and took a slow sip of my Starbucks. Revenge had never tasted so sweet.
I was 180 kilograms of disappointment. At least that's how I felt every time I caught my reflection in the gym's mirror. Every step, every bead of sweat was fueled by one single thought. Rose. She was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen, her laughter ringing across the gym like music. I couldn't stay in the shadows anymore. If she wanted someone strong and fit, that's what I had to become. But weeks of torture on the treadmill and weights yielded almost nothing. The scale barely moved, and Rose didn't even notice me. Meanwhile, I couldn't help but notice how some of the most sculpted guys in the gym occasionally collapsed during their workouts. They'd be taken to the locker room, pale and shaky, but always came back the next day looking stronger than ever. It made no sense. Frustrated, I finally complained to my trainer. "It's pointless," I grumbled, and decided to let everything go. "I've tried everything. I'll never look like them." He gave me a sly smile and leaned in, lowering his voice.
"You're right. Workouts alone won't cut it. But I've got something special for guys like you."
From his locker, he retrieved a small black jar read, "Fastest weight loss protein."
"This,"
he said, tapping it with his finger.
"is the shortcut, a secret formula. It's 100% safe and guarantees fast results."
I hesitated, staring at the jar. "What's in it?"
"Trust me, Bulk. You'll thank me later."
Desperation won over logic, and that night, I took my first scoop of the black protein. It tasted bitter and earthy, but I gulped it down, chasing it with water. The effects were immediate. Within days, my body began to transform. My gut shrank, my arms swelled with muscle, and my face, once round and bloated, gained sharp, chiseled features. Even my digestion improved. For the first time in my life, I felt confident. Rose even smiled at me one afternoon, and I swear my heart nearly stopped. But then, strange things began to happen. One morning, I noticed an itch in my throat, a constant tickling that wouldn't go away. My skin taut over my new muscles, sometimes felt like it was crawling, as though something moved beneath the surface. And then, there was the jar. I'd been going through it faster than I thought, and as I scooped out the last serving, something caught my eye. Inside the powder, something squirmed. My stomach turned as I fished it out. A tiny black leech, wriggling between my fingers. I dropped it, horrified, and stared at the jar in disbelief. What had I been drinking? At the hospital, the truth came out. The doctor showed me the scans of my body, his face pale. My muscles weren't muscles. They were writhing, tangled masses of leeches. These creatures had burrowed inside me, feeding on my fat and growing, giving the illusion of strength. I confronted the trainer the next day, holding the jar in trembling hands. He didn't flinch.
Relax. They're harmless. They only feed on excess. When you're ready, there's a pill to flush them out. Isn't this what you wanted? You're strong, healthy, and Rose notices you now, doesn't she?
His words twisted in my mind. He wasn't wrong. For the first time, I had what I'd always wanted. So I ignored the itch in my throat, the occasional stinging under my skin. I kept drinking the protein and enjoying my newfound body. Until the morning I couldn't breathe. It started as a scratchy feeling, but quickly turned into suffocation. My vision blurred as I gagged, clawing at my throat. Something inside was moving, writhing its way up. I stumbled into the gym, collapsing at the trainer's feet. "Help me!" I choked out, blood spilling from my mouth. He reacted immediately, forcing me onto the floor and yanking my jaw open. His hand disappeared into my throat, and I felt the unbearable tugging of something alive being pulled out. I screamed as the creature fought back, scraping against the walls of my throat. Finally, with a wet, sickening pop, it came free. The leech was massive, writhing and dripping with blood. The trainer tossed it aside, but the damage was done. I lay on the floor, gasping, my body trembling. When I finally mustered the strength to sit up, I caught my reflection in the gym mirror. The man staring back was unrecognizable. My skin hung loose over my skeleton, my eyes sunken, my once impressive frame reduced to a hollow shell. The trainer crouched beside me, smirking.
Well, Bulk,
He said, clapping a hand on my shoulder.
you've finally hit your goal weight. Congratulations.
It started with one can, just one. The first sip sent a surge of vitality through me, a spark that burned brighter than anything I'd felt in months. That was when the obsession began. I convinced myself it was harmless, just fuel for late-night gaming. But soon, one can became two, then three. By the time I saw the poster for the Prime Energy Challenge, I was already averaging 6 a day. Whoever drinks the most cans in an hour wins, the poster declared. A year's supply of Prime Energy and $10,000 cash. It felt like destiny. I started training immediately. Every day I pushed my body further, guzzling can after can until my stomach felt like it would burst. My body adapted. At least that's what I thought. The sleepless nights, the jittery hands, small prices to pay for greatness. The day of the competition, the stage was electric. The air buzzed with caffeine-fueled excitement as the crowd roared, their energy feeding into my already over-amped nerves. My chest puffed out with confidence. Opponents lined up beside me, but I barely acknowledged them. The announcer's voice boomed.
Are you ready?
The countdown began. 3, 2, 1. I cracked open the first can, chugging it like it was water. The carbonation burned my throat, but I welcomed the sensation. The crowd cheered as I slammed it onto the table and reached for the next. One by one, the cans disappeared. My training had paid off. My hands moved on autopilot, my throat a tunnel for the sugary liquid. 10 cans in, and I felt invincible. But by the 15th can, something shifted. My stomach, bloated and taut, churned ominously. Each gulp sent a wave of pressure surging through my body, the carbonation fighting for space in my overloaded gut. Still, I pressed on. The crowd's chants grew louder, their enthusiasm drowning out the alarm bells ringing in my head. I could taste the finish line. Victory was within reach. Then came the 16th can. As the liquid hit my throat, my body rebelled. I gagged, the carbonation bubbling up faster than I could swallow. Panic set in as I tried to force it down, but my body had had enough. With a violent heave, I spewed a torrent of fluorescent liquid across the stage. Gasps erupted from the audience. I collapsed to my knees, clutching my swollen stomach as the announcer declared the winner. 3rd place. After everything, I was only good enough for 3rd. That night, back in my apartment, the humiliation burned almost as much as my stomach. I hadn't eaten all day, yet I felt fuller than ever. My gut was a rock, stretched tight and unyielding. Sleep eluded me. Each time I closed my eyes, I could feel the energy coursing through me, keeping my heart racing and my mind spinning. By the 3rd night, the effects began to show. Sweat poured from my skin in an unrelenting stream, soaking through my clothes and sheets. My pores seemed larger. When I ran my hand over my arm, it came away slick and glistening, as if my body was leaking. Then came the blisters. Tiny water-filled bubbles erupted across my arms, chest, and neck, itching and burning with every touch. I tried popping one, but instead of relief, more fluid oozed out, drenching my already saturated skin. I told myself it was temporary, a side effect. It would pass. On the 5th night, exhaustion finally won. I sank into a deep sleep, my body limp for the first time in days. When I woke, the sound of rushing water filled my ears. Groggy, I sat up and froze. My room was flooded. Water covered the floor, lapping against the legs of my bed. The air was humid, suffocatingly warm. I looked down at my body and screamed. Every pore on my skin had stretched into gaping holes, each one a tiny faucet spilling water. My arms, my chest, my legs. Every inch of me was leaking. I tried to stand, but my legs buckled. My muscles, once firm, had turned soft and pliable, like overcooked noodles. The water kept coming, pouring from me in an unending stream. It wasn't just water, it was prime. I could smell it, the sickly, sweet scent that had once been so intoxicating, now making me gag. The room filled quickly. Water rose past my knees, then my waist. I clawed at the walls, desperate for escape, but my strength was gone. My body, my sanctuary, was betraying me. As the water reached my chest, I looked down at my reflection. What stared back was no longer human. My skin was translucent, my features distorted by the ripples. I was melting, dissolving into the flood I had created. The realization hit me like a punch to the gut. This was the price of my obsession.